Hey guys, Dylan from Flow Designs here. Today I've got the Gen 2 Yaris behind me. I want to show you how to install our front splitter kit. The kit comes in two finishes, either our premium looking gloss black that matches the accents on the car, or we can go for a more durable scratch resistant textured black. Everything you need comes with the kit, including our stainless steel brackets, our hardware, and all the templates you need. And there's also winglets or front extensions you can add to your order. The tools you'll need for this are a drill with 8 and 10mm drill bits, 4mm Allen keys, and a 10mm socket and wrenches, a hammer, a screwdriver, and trim removers. So the first step is to lift the car up to get access to the undertray, which will have to come off for the install, but the front bumper won't have to come off. So now that the car's up, it's time to take off the undertray and the other bolts that hold onto the bumper and the fender liner. To do that, you'll need a 10mm socket and a pry tool. So the undertray has these bolts and clips around it. The bumper also has some along the front and along the side, which connect to the guard liner as well. This can stay on, however. Before you start taking it all apart, it's a good idea to take some reference photos so you know where all the bolts go and how it all should look once you're done. So now that's out of the way, it's time to remove this inner undertray as well. That's done with these bolts that go along here and one clip. So once those bolts and clips are off, it'll just be hanging on two hooks. So here's the first one. All you have to do is lift it up a bit and pull it back to unhook it. The other hook's on the opposite side and facing the front. It's above this hole here. So just unhook it, you can reach above the undertray to try pry it and lift it over the metal. So with the hooks off, it's time to pull it out. To do that, I'm going to reach in and put my hands on either side of the foam inside here and push down while pulling backwards. So this inner undertray is what we're going to work on now. We'll put it on a bench, and first is to remove these three clips that hold this piece onto it. Once that's done, we'll put it to the side as we'll put it on later. Put that off, we'll flip it around and grab this provided base. This will go on the front here like this, and it'll be stuck down. So before that, we want to make sure that these flat panels are all nice and clean. So we'll use a bit of IPA to make sure they're all clean, there's no dirt on them. So now that it's all clean here, we'll grab this brace. So I want to test fit it quickly before taking off the tape and applying an adhesive promoter. So to show you where it goes, these locating pins go into these holes. So these two other side of the middle. So flip these, they go into the hole and then push them this way. It shouldn't move side to side or any more forward once it's all seated properly. So to do it for real, I'll be taking these off and applying the adhesive promoter. And once that dries, put it into place, make sure it's all seated and hold it down for a few seconds so it sticks. By cracking the adhesive promoter, you can release the fluid, wait for it to saturate the cotton tip, and just draw along the areas that the tape will be stuck to. So while I wait for the adhesive promoter to dry, I'll take off the backing, this red backing off the double-sided tape. Now that this is dry and the tape's ready, I'll go ahead and position this carefully. Make sure it's all lined up. And then stick it down and hold it firmly. So now that this is stuck on, we can use it as a drilling template. So with the 10mm drill bit, we're going to drill out these 4 holes. So that's all done now. We can flip this over to prepare it for the next bracket. So this is the next piece that will go on. It lines up using these slots, as well as the holes which go over the holes you just drilled, as well as this larger one on each end. So to prep this brace, we can grab these provided spacers and clip them on. So make sure the hole goes over the hole and make sure it's on the side with the tape. So before taking the tape off and prepping it with a adhesive promoter and cleaning it, we'll just do a quick dry test. So now to dry test it, we'll place it, make sure the slot and all the other ones line up, push it all the way to the front. You can confirm by looking through the holes and make sure they're all lined up with the other holes in the Undertray. Also, there's a bit of play side to side, so try and center it, especially on this slot here. Now we'll go prep it for sticking it on. Now we'll prep the area with adhesive promoter. I'll crack that, then run down to the cotton, and apply it to where the tape will go. While we wait for that to dry, we'll take off the backing off the tape. Now we'll place it on. Make sure you push it all the way forward, have it centered, place it down, and then hold the tape down firmly. So now we'll place this back onto where it came from, like that, and using the same clips to secure it. So now for the final part of the Undertray is these provided spaces. They are directional and they have their own side. They just clip into these slots on either side. Moving on from the Undertray, we've come to the bumper again. This is a provided template that comes in the kit. We want to make sure this gets clipped onto the bumper using the clips that we already took off. Make sure that the arrows face the front of the car and the writing faces you. And then these outer holes marked A line up with these holes on the bumper, and you use the clips to hold it in place before we drill. Now with a 10mm drill bit, we'll drill out these holes. Be very careful as you drill because the intercooler is right above it. Once that's all drilled, you can take off the template. So now it's time to put the Undertray back in. To make it easier, make sure you push this down and get these tabs out of the way, as well as the tabs over here, and make sure this goes up above the bumper. I'm going to start with putting one side in first. Make sure the tabs stay below the Undertray. So now it's time to clip and bolt back the Undertray. So first, I'm going to put the original clip back into the middle. Next, I'm going to bolt the bolt on this side in a little elongated hole. And then the bolt on the other side. Now you can just do the rest of them up. Now I want to show you how to install our corner reinforcement brackets. You don't have to take the bumper off for this or anything else, but I want to show you how to do it with the bumper off so you can see it more clearly. So the first step is taking off this clip and this screw. So to take this off, all you have to do is pinch it and it pops right out. And this is a normal Phillips head. Once they go on, you can grab the bracket, make sure it's the right one, right or left, depending which side you're on. And it sits with the cutouts going around these plastic parts, and it matches the shape of the bumper at the bottom. Then use the provided screw to screw it back into the original hole. So now we're going to move on to these corner brackets. These go inside the bumper in the corners here. We're going to do this with the bumper onto the car. And there's a few clips in the wheel well here we're going to take off to get some extra room to undo the screw inside. Here they are. I want to use a plastic trim remover to pry into the gap and pull away from the bumper. First, I'm going to grab this clip by the top, squeeze it together, and push it through the bottom. Next, I'm going to grab a stubby Phillips head and reach in and undo the little screw up here. And now, bring the bracket in, make sure it's the correct one for the side you're working on. Put it over here, aligning the nut on the bottom with the hole, and making sure it sits nicely, and using the provided screw in the kit to hold it into place. So with those two brackets installed, it's time to move on to these ones. I'll show you how to get it done with the bumper on. So these are the two uprights. They're a bit different. They are marked left and right. The left one has a small cutout in this standoff here that allows for this duct. This duct isn't on the other side, so the other side is a bit simpler. And this one, all we have to do is just move it out of the way a little bit. There's a bit of play in it. So yeah, let's do it. So we'll show you how to do it properly with the bumper on, but just as a visual, it goes up from the bottom like this, and you can pop it into those OEM holes like that. You might have to move this plastic piece out to the front a bit just to give it a bit more clearance. First, we'll be moving this out of the way to get access to these two holes here. So for these brackets, we'll be using these hex-headed black bolts with these flange nuts. So next are the beams. So I'm on the right side of the car now, as the right side is a bit different. It has this extra piece on it, and I'll show you why. So this part here attaches to the upright, and this spacer here that I've already installed in previous steps. And this extra piece on the right side is to protect these hoses up here. To install it, you feed it in from the back. Might have to push this down, lift these up. And it sits like that. And it's bolted here, and there's two bolts back onto the upright. So now you can use the provided M6x15 bolts to insert them, and they go into tap thread, so no need for a nut. So now once the bolts are in, you can tighten it with a 4mm hex bit. Make sure when you tighten it that the back edge and this bottom edge are both flush and in line with each other. Next is these beams. I've got the right side here, which has this plastic clip on it, so make sure the hoses don't rub into the metal. So this right side has the hoses that you'll have to push up as you feed it in. And also make sure that this back edge is lined up with the other bracket as well. So the bracket's all done. We're going to put the Undertray partially back on. So I'm going to install the front first, making sure I put these parts above these tabs that go across the front. And then I'm going to grab two of the original clips to do the two at the back. So now with the original screws for the front, we're going to bolt up these tabs. Make sure you move the tab so it's centered with the hole, and then hand tighten these. So now I'm going to grab these provided spacers and tap them into place. So before we start mounting the splitter, first we want to make sure these liners are tucked in properly. So all it is this long piece here has to go above the bumper, and this little tab here as well. The rest stays below. So now it's time for the splitter install. It's really helpful to have a friend help you out and hold it up for you as you bolt it up. But I've got these two helpers here. So first we're going to grab the longest bolts and put them through this hole here, the spacer, which goes into this OEM hole up here. Doing these two will hold it up for me as I do the back two, then you can move on to do the rest. Now for these ones, make sure you use a smaller washer, the 18mm, and feed it into that pre-installed thread. As you tighten these, make sure that this edge here and this edge on the back, it lines up with the bumper. So we'll do these ones as well in the corner. Make sure you use a smaller 18mm washer for them. And we'll tighten it up, not all the way, so you can still move it around a little bit. So now we're using the self-tapping screws with a big washer. And these edges here should be lined up to the painted section, white in our case. Then you can just put these in. So once you're sure these edges are lined up, you can tighten it all the way. Once that's tight, you can do this one, which is the same screw and washer. This can also be done up all the way. So the same process is done on this side as well. So line up those edges. Once you're happy with that, you can do the second screw as well. So once these are good, so I'm gonna double check that they're all flush as well as over here. And then once these are also good, you can tighten this bolt up. And you can do the same on the other side. So now we're going to drill this hole out here. It's next to the self-tapper. We're going to use an 8mm drill bit for it. When you do this, be very careful not to drill too far, as this is right above it. We're only drill through the bottom layer of the bumper only. So make sure it is this hole next to this screw, not any other holes. And I want to do it very slowly to make sure I don't go past the first layer. So now we're going to install the bolt through that hole. It's a 35mm bolt with a washer top and bottom and an eye-lock nut on top. This self-tapper might be in the way as you try and install it. So if it is in the way, feel free to take it out, as it should be held in by the other bolts now. Just be careful, it is pretty sharp at the top. So you'll grab the top nut with a wrench, so tighten it fully. Now it's time for the 6 front bolts across the front of the splitter. So these bolts go into the brace we've already installed in the bumper. If the holes don't line up with the nuts inside, you can loosen these screws to hold the bumper on to try adjust it to make a match. Once they're all in, you can tighten them all up, including these 2 that you already did before. Now it's time to put the undertray back on. So all the existing clips and bolts that we haven't replaced can go back on to hold us up. There you go guys, that's the front splitter fully installed. If you did buy the optional winglets, keep watching, I'll show you how to install those now as well. So for the winglet and front extensions, you use these pre-installed threads in the splitter to hold it up, and the included bolts. So the shorter bolts are for the front extension, and if you use a winglet by itself, if you have a winglet and front extension, you want to use a 20mm longer bolt to make sure it goes through both. So I'll be doing the back bolt first. Once that's loosely on, grab a shorter bolt. Make sure you always use a washer with each bolt. And this one will go at the very front into the Chicago bolt that's on the top of the splitter. Once it's all held up, you just put in the rest of the bolts, and then make sure you adjust it before you tighten them. So I haven't tightened them up so I can adjust it. These are fully adjustable in angle and depth. Once you have it how you like, you can tighten it up, and then that's all done. Hope you found that helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Other than that, thanks for watching.